UTRGV-TV is brought to you in part by Information Technology. For more information, visit utrgv.edu/IT.
Welcome back to our weekly newscast. I'm Major Alfaro.
And I'm Danielle Rodriguez. UTRGV-TV starts now.
The UTRGV Vaqueros glowed in the dark to help welcome more basketball players this season. Eric Guerra reports on the event.
UTRGV kicked off the new basketball season in one bright way, with an event that allows students to leave the classroom behind.
And just kind of relax, de-stress a little bit while also getting into your school spirit.
No matter if you're a senior or freshman, the Glow Party allowed everyone to show their colors.
Spirit Rally is one of our main events to really get the student population engaged on campus and to start showing more pride in being students of UTRGV.
From music and games to face paint and food, the Glow Party was the beginning of UTRGV Madness. Glow Party allowed the team to see that the school is with them. In Edinburgh, Eric Guerra, UTRGV-TV.
Students and faculty made their way to the University Fieldhouse to cheer on men and women's basketball team. Our reporter Sarah Garcia takes you inside this year's Midnight Madness.
The Vaquero spirit was heard this past Friday at the second annual UTRGV Midnight Madness. The men and women's basketball team made their debut in front of hundreds of students and the community.
I think our event is a little bit different than most Madnesses because it is really geared around students. The student dance-off is probably the most important part. That's always been a central focus of our Midnight Madness. So it's a way for our basketball teams and our student orgs to get together and celebrate school spirit.
Dancing to the beat, students' organizations got to show their support for the athletes. When the organizations left the floor, the crowd cheered on previews of the basketball season.
Students, please go ahead and try to make it out. The men and the women, they're awesome, and they would really, really appreciate your support. Us cheerleaders are always here at every home game, and we would really appreciate for all of y'all to come out and to go ahead and get the students involved.
For more information about the games, you can visit goutrgv.com. In Edinburgh, Sarah Garcia, UTRGV-TV.
Getting into the spirit of Halloween, students and community members came together to release their creative talents with some pumpkins.
Basically, this is our very first fundraiser. We're the organization Promo. We're a brand new organization here at UTRGV, and we basically want to do something in the month of October. And what better way to do it than with pumpkins?
The Chroma organizations speak about how painting can bring us closer as we get involved to the sway of the brush. Students and children were able to participate and get a taste of what Halloween has to offer. As for Megan Ray Gonzalez, it's about releasing your creative talent with Halloween charm.
On Monday, students had a chance to be a hero by donating to the United Blood Services.
Well, I was walking over and they were able to convince me to donate blood. It's a really good cause, and I've donated blood in the past.
It only takes 5 minutes to save a life. Just fill out a couple of forms and you're on your way to being a hero. After donating, students received a snack and a free t-shirt for their effort. It's quick, painless, and helpful to those in need.
Breast cancer awareness is promoted throughout the month of October. Our reporter Ileana Luna shows us how UTRGV students show their support.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and to help support this, a Cha-Cha Zumbathon welcomed all to dance and donate hair to Locks of Love.
My mom actually had breast cancer when I was in 4th grade, and it was stage 2 breast cancer, and she went into remission, and then it did come back, but she was able to fight it.
This event also featured a guest speaker and a bra fashionista contest. Many gathered for this event decked in pink to help and spread awareness of breast cancer, where you can enjoy refreshment, cutting your hair for a good cause, and dancing. Reporting for UTRGV-TV in Edinburgh, Ileana Luna.
Recently, our very own UTRGV-TV member Orlando Vargas just won an Emmy Award for his story on war vet Frederick Mann Sr.
I start with his life, how he wanted to join the military, how he eventually joined the military and he made a career out of it. But in doing so, that day that he got shipped off, when he got the news that World War II had started for the United States when Japan attacked Hawaii, he was shipped off, and then during the course of the war, he was in the Battle of Guadalcanal, and he saved lives. A plane crashed into his boat, and he helped all of his sailors get out, and he was awarded a medal. And I asked him, hey, can you tell me about, how do you feel about winning that medal? And his response was, no, I'm not going to tell you. And the reason he told me that was because he felt that it had nothing to do with what he had done. To him, it was his job. He was there, he acted on impulse, he saved lives, and it was something to him. He's a very humble man. And that's one thing that I'll never forget. And that's why it's one of those stories that, you have a privilege of telling.
All of his advisors are proud of him. We even got to hear from Frederick Mann himself on his opinion on the award-winning story.
I didn't win, but I'm winning through Orwell, which is awesome. He's such a great kid. Plus, my father loved the story too. And he's like a little kid sometimes. You got to get his attention. This story had his full attention, which is really cool.
Orlando Vargas continues his hard work in Telemundo as a content producer. We hope to see more of him on screen.
Believe in yourself, find your purpose, and scars will heal. If these three phrases sound familiar, then maybe you've seen the motivation peddling around campus. Sara Garcia has more on the story.
No matter what anyone says, bro, you're helping everyone out. No matter if it's a little bit or a lot, man. As long as you help them, you'll feel better inside.
Sometimes motivation is hard to find, but not in this case. On a daily basis, students are finding inspiration around campus, and it's all coming from a whiteboard.
Don't forget, love all, everywhere you go.
But for Will, the inspiration to write these hopeful words come from empathy.
I didn't have anyone to motivate me, to encourage me. So I know what it feels like to have no motivation. So that's why, every day, it's like a calling for me to just show people who's even going through something really big that no matter what happened, you can overcome it. No matter what you face in life, you can, and you can still smile, regardless.
And with a simple stroke of a marker, his small act of kindness has made a big difference. Will's hopeful words have reached thousands of students not only in person but also on social media.
That one that touched me. Yeah.
Expanding his message out of UTRGV campus into the streets, the community looks forward for the daily dose of motivation. In Edinburgh, Sara Garcia, UTRGV-TV.
Here's Daniel Galvan with sports.
How's it going, guys? I'm Daniel Gavon. It's a new UTRGV Sportscast. I'm going to record it here at the cat feeding station. It's one of my favorite places around campus. You can come by, grab some free food. It's absolutely delicious. But there were no UTRGV home games this week. Oh, man, it tasted good. But there was one big thing this week. UTRGV Madness 2016. It's like Midnight Madness, but not at midnight. It was like the big ultimate pep rally for all the basketball teams. It was a phenomenal experience for people just to go there and get Instagram pictures that would get at least 11 likes. But if you didn't attend UTRGV Madness, don't worry, because I'm here next to this cat feeding station, and I'm going to tell you the 8 things that I loved the most from Midnight Madness. Number 1, people were there. Like, literally, people were there. The UTRGV Fieldhouse was packed to the rim with UTRGV students and fans hooting and hollering. It was an absolutely great atmosphere. I would love to see that at every basketball game. The second thing I loved was watching the UTRGV Spirit program perform. The cheerleaders and dance team performed for the crowd. They kept the mojo up throughout the evening with their cheering and whatnot. And they made their presence known at every volleyball and basketball game. So shout out to them. They're just a great addition to UTRGV. And UTRGV is great, okay? You know why UTRGV is great? Because if you ever get lost here, there's a UTRGV sign at every single corner. Do you know how much walking I did to make this stupid joke? I feel awful. But I want to thank my cameraman, Ryan Cavazos. Let me get you. Ryan, how was... My third favorite thing of the night was the dance competition. You had several different student organizations and groups showing off their dance moves. I'm not sure who actually won the competition, but they all won it in my heart. Okay, there was one group that had everyone uncomfortable for about half a second because they came out with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton masks, but no political statements were made, just high-level dancing. And you know, as far as how my politics go, I'm not going to tell you who you should or shouldn't vote for. I mean, maybe don't vote for Kanye West. Like, it's funny and ridiculous, but again, there are some loopholes with Kanye's tax reform policy. But if you're going to ride in anybody, may I suggest co-presidents, men's basketball coach Lou Hill and women's basketball coach Larry Tidwell. This is my fourth favorite thing, okay? The two coaches, as well as their respective teams, made their official introductions to V-Nation, and it was fantastic. The women's team unveiled the NIT banner that they captured last season. There's a whole bunch of deserved optimism heading into this year with returning players like Shantae Goff, Hilda Yartensdottir, Bernicia Peters, and so many more, plus plenty of new additions that we'll get to know as the season gets along. And the men's team, the first team under Coach Hill, made their awesome intros as well with their dance moves and whatnot. They've got their fair share of returners and new faces looking to make an impact. But here's a cool note about the men's team. They're a lot like the Lord of the Flies, a Little Yachty concert, or a Denny's at 3 a.m., and that the team has no seniors. My fifth favorite thing was the inter-squad scrimmages for both teams. UTRGV won both of them. That's crazy. But one interesting note about the women's team is that there are 6 players from the Rio Grande Valley, from Weslaco to Edinburgh to Los Fresnos. That's a whole starting lineup plus an extra player. And the men's scrimmage had its fair share of great dunks. It was dunk after dunk after dunk. And speaking of dunks, this brings me to my next favorite thing, and to be completely honest, it's my first favorite thing, the dunk contest. Mike Nwabazar, Xavier McDaniel Jr., and Mike Hoffman all competed in the dunk competition, and here are my 3 favorite dunks of the night. The first is from Xavier McDaniel Jr., the last 2 come from Mike Hoffman, who's donning the Superman nickname, each accompanied by a slow-mo replay, by the way, and Hoffman ended up winning the slam dunk competition over his 2 teammates. It was the second consecutive year Mike won the competition, an absolute dynasty, which the Spurs would call cute. Now, funny thing about this cat food, it's not cat food. It's hummus, but the funny thing is, this literally tastes worse than cat food. And it still smells like the cat food that I bought yesterday, which brings me to my latest commercial.
This is a commercial for Febreze. It's just like Febreze, but I don't think I can legally make a Febreze commercial.
Okay, Dan, what does this smell like?
Cat food.
Okay. What does it smell like now?
It still smells like cat food. We got 2 more favorite things to look at. Number 7, musical chairs. There were musical chairs at UTRGV Madness. It does not get more intense than that. I mean, this was a high-quality game of musical chairs, but I'm a sports analyst. I care about who was the best. Like, is this leaf better than this leaf? No, this one has pimples. It's really weird. But I want to know, what is the best game of musical chairs? It wasn't this one. This was a good one. But the best game, I looked on YouTube, and here it is. This woman, if I had as much drive and determination as this woman had to get that chair in my life goals, I would be a billionaire. And lastly, number 8. It was the finale. It was the last thing we saw at UTRGV Madness. It's one of the great things. The UTRGV Pet Band performed. It was a phenomenal performance. The Pet Band is such an integral part of the athletic experience, and it was great for them to kind of be the main event of UTRGV Madness, and they wowed the fans across the field house. It reminded me of my favorite movie, Sing Street, which everyone should absolutely check out. But again, a phenomenal UTRGV Madness, from the Spirit program to the dance competition to the musical chairs to the Pet Band to the basketball team. It was a great UTRGV Madness, a great way to welcome back Coach Larry Tidwell for yet another season, a great way to welcome back Coach Lou Hill in his first season, the 2 basketball teams. I'm very optimistic. I'll be back next week recapping UTRGV action that has happened here on Edinburgh. Here's the schedule for what's taking place this week. You got some soccer, some volleyball. You can go and check out those games. But with that being said, reporting for UTRGV-TV. I'm Daniel Gabon.
That's all we have for you today.
But remember, if you have a story you would like for us to know about, you can find us on our social media page, or you can send us an email at utrgvtv@gmail.com.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.